Many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. This movie is directed by Wes Ball. Matt Reeves' Planet of the Apes movies are two of my favorite movies of all time, so I went into this movie with pretty high expectations, while also being a little skeptical to see if this movie could live up to the other two. And in my opinion, it's not even close to what Matt Reeves did in those two movies. I was honestly pretty disappointed with this film. Not because it's just an outright bad movie, but just because I felt mostly nothing while watching it. And that's kind of wild because both Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes, mostly War, have moments that shook me to my core. Like, Matt Reeves really made me cry like a little baby over some CGI monkeys, dude.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Caesar's one of my all-time favorite movie characters. And I loved a lot of the side characters in those films as well, like Maurice, Rocket, Bad Ape, even Koba's psychotic ass. But in this movie, I really felt nothing for our main character Noah and his friends and family. They all just felt super flat and kind of disposable to me for the most part. The biggest strength of the Matt Reeves films is the biggest weakness of this one. I'm really big on characters. If I'm not super invested in the characters, then you kind of lost me unless the story is that good. And to be honest, the story of this movie isn't that good. I was expecting a lot more. To me, a lot of this story felt like a less engaging retread of War for the Planet of the Apes. I think there's some great ideas and concepts in this movie about idolization, society, and radicalism, but nothing gets expanded upon as much as I wanted it to. And that's also crazy considering this is the longest film in the franchise, so they had more than enough time to flesh everything out. Instead, I felt like this film had a pretty serious pacing problem in the first act. There is a great action scene in the first act that kind of gets the ball rolling, but other than that, the movie didn't get interesting to me until Rocca shows up. He's my favorite character of the movie, and Peter Macon gave an amazing performance. I just wish he had more screen time. I also wish Proximus was in the movie a lot more. They set up his character to be a great villain, but again, it's just half-baked. He barely has any screen time, but all of his scenes are the best scenes in the movie. Kevin Durand absolutely killed it. I just wish he had more to do. Let me get to some of the positives though. The movie looks incredible. The cinematography is great. I loved all the locations we went to, and there was a lot of great shots and camera movement. To me, it looked like a lot of this movie was shot on locations or just on some amazing sets. I might be wrong about that. It could just be amazing visual effects, but either way, it looks great. My favorite location being Proximus's kingdom. It almost looked like something out of an Uncharted game, which was awesome. I especially loved how the action was shot. It's very fast paced, but it's also very easy to tell what's going on. It feels very intense and visceral, and it just looks amazing. And like everyone's been saying, the visual effects are just top notch. They're probably the best in the franchise, which says a lot because War for the Planet of the Apes also looked stunning, but this one might just be like a little better. I also think there's some pretty good world building here. It's cool to see how the world has progressed since Caesar's trilogy, and to see how the apes have progressed and where the humans are at and how they kind of interact with each other. I also thought it was cool that they showed how Caesar had such a big impact on this world. I wish we maybe got a little bit more into that, but I get it. This is supposed to be its own thing, even though it's set in the same franchise. You don't want to spend the start of this new story talking about the ending and everything that happened in the last story, but I did really enjoy the scenes where they dove into the relationship between the apes and the humans. I thought that was pretty interesting stuff. And without spoiling anything, I also loved the first scene of the movie that happens before the title card, and I also really enjoyed the ending of the movie. I thought it was pretty interesting. But overall, I was pretty underwhelmed with this film. I think it's well made and has stunning visuals, but I had a hard time getting invested into the characters and the story at times. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is clocking in at a 70% on the Bravo barometer. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad movie. It was just kind of okay to me, and it's objectively very well made. I just want to connect with it a little bit more than I did. To me, this doesn't hold a candle to Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes, but the ending was interesting enough that I'd definitely go check it out to see where it goes. And this is a movie I'm going to rewatch again, so hopefully it grows on me in the future. I don't really know. I really want to like this movie a lot more than I did, but it kind of just fell a little flat for me. But those are just my opinions. Let me know what you thought of the movie and my review in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews and streams coming in the future. And as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you for tuning in and watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.